Hi friends, it's Sister Marla, clerks at St. Elizabeth and Seton Parish. I remember years ago, probably when I was in late junior high, I had a dream that was very significant. And in the dream, there was a large globe of the earth. And as I stood by that globe, I was like punching it with my fists and kicking it. And each time I hit it, I would look to see whether or not I had dented it. And each time I saw that I hadn't done anything to dent that. I remember waking up with this worry or wonder, was I going to make any difference in the world? Was who I would become, going to be enough to matter, to help make our world a better place? And that dream has really stayed with me. And it's one of the reasons why I like the parable, the gospel story that we hear this weekend. It's a very familiar one where Jesus feeds the multitudes of people, with just a few loaves of bread and a few fish. And it echoes the first reading where we also see Elisha, who takes 20 barley loaves and feeds 100 people. Now that might seem like it's enough, but they were probably the size of a dinner roll. And since it was from the first fruits, it could very well have been that people had already used up last year's crop, and so they could have been very hungry. So what seemed like an insignificant amount actually ended up being enough. So Elisha knew that the gifts that God had given him were enough to make a dent in the world, make a dent in the lives of people around them. And we know surely that Jesus Christ did that through the disciples, through the works that he did himself, through the other people who co-ministered or ministered after him. Friends, we might look at our own lives and wonder if the gifts and talents that we have are actually enough for others. We might at times feel kind of spent, thinking that we don't have what is needed at our workplace and our relationships, or in the things that we want to do to better ourselves and to better the lives of others. I think of a little 4-year-old girl who learned how to snorkel. Her name is Nina Gomez, and she lives in Rio de Janeiro. And the first time she was snorkeling with her dad, holding her hand by her side, she noticed that there was garbage along the beach line in the water. And so each day she asked to go out so she could collect some of that garbage. Here we have a 4-year-old doing what she can to make the world around her a better place than it was, who worried about the environment, who worried about the sea life, who saw something that she knew wasn't right, and so used that little 4-year-old gift to, again, change the area surrounding her. Each one of us has been given gifts and talents that are enough. They are enough for what God might be asking us to do. And put together with our friends, put together with our worshiping communities, we know that it is more than enough to help change our world. One of my favorite poems is a poem called The Boarding House. And it says, "The blind man draws his curtains for the night and goes to bed, leaving a burning light above the bathroom mirror. Through the wall he hears the deaf man walking down the hall in his squeaky shoes to see if there's a light under the blind man's door, and all is right." These two friends, these two boarders in the same building, do what they can to make sure that the other feels comfortable, that the other feels remembered, and that they're sharing with them that all is good with them as well. For the blind man leaves a burning light for the man who can see but cannot hear. And the man who can see but is deaf walks down the hall in squeaky shoes so that the blind friend can hear that everything is okay. I think it's just a powerful poem for us, that each one of us can do whatever it is we have, whatever it is that God is asking us to do, that can really tell others they matter, that can really improve the lives of others, that can really also draw others to believe in themselves, to believe in their goodness, to believe in the gospel of Jesus Christ, to believe in their own divinity. So again, I would like to share that boarding house poem with you. The blind man draws his curtains for the night and goes to bed, leaving a burning light above the bathroom mirror. Through the wall, he hears the deaf man walking down the hall in his squeaky shoes to see if there's a light under the blind man's door. And all is right. Friends, I think the challenge for us, the invitation for us, is to be those people who find our own unique ways to make a difference in the lives of others, to feed others with whatever little bread and fish we have, whatever barley loaves we might have been given. Because when we do that through our faith, through the message of the gospel, and grounded in God, we know that it will always be enough.